Have you ever looked at someone and thought, there's something they're not saying yet, even when they smile and speak kindly? What if the people you meet every day are hiding silent struggles behind polished appearances, and you just haven't learned to see them yet? In a world obsessed with image, can you truly recognize who someone is when their real story is told in whispers, not words? We move through life surrounded by people, smiling, polite, often charming. But every once in a while, something doesn't add up. You feel it, don't you? That quiet sense that there's more beneath the surface, that behind the kind words and perfect posture, there's a deeper story, a hidden layer we rarely stop to explore. How often do we truly pause and wonder, who is this person when no one's watching? In today's world, where appearances often matter more than authenticity, it's easy, almost expected, for people to slip into roles meant to impress, to blend in, to protect. But here's a powerful truth: a person's true nature isn't revealed by their charisma, their compliments, or even their charm. It's revealed in the smallest, quietest moments, the ones most people overlook. You don't need a psychology degree or a library of philosophy books to uncover someone's real character. All you need is the right lens. Today, I'm going to share two simple but powerful principles that will help you see past the mask and into the soul of a person. These aren't abstract theories. They're grounded in real life, everyday interactions, the kind you witness without even realizing their importance. Once you learn to spot these subtle signs, you'll not only understand others better, you'll also make smarter, more aligned choices about who you let into your life. Just imagine having the ability to read someone's true intentions, not by their words, but through their tiniest gestures. Their tone when they think it doesn't matter, the way they treat people who can't offer them anything in return. These unspoken cues, they're the language of integrity. And once you tune into it, you'll never see people the same way again. And here's the unexpected bonus. You might uncover truths about yourself too, about how you show up, about the energy you give, even when no one's watching. So I invite you, be present, be open. What you're about to learn could transform the way you connect with people and how deeply you understand the world around you. And if this kind of insight speaks to you, don't forget to subscribe to the Mindful Sphere, where we journey together toward deeper awareness and personal growth. Now let's dive into Principle 1. How a person treats those who can't return the favor. If you truly want to witness the heart of someone's character, observe how they behave with people who hold no power, those who can't repay kindness, give favors, or improve their status. This principle may seem simple, but it holds a mirror to the soul. Far more than speeches, achievements, or social gestures, it reveals the true quality of a person. In Stoic philosophy, virtue isn't something you showcase when you're in the spotlight. It reveals itself when there's nothing to gain. Real character shines in moments where the interaction is stripped of reward, status, or recognition. Picture this: a packed coffee shop on a hectic Monday morning. The barista is exhausted, rushing to keep up with a sea of impatient customers. Now, in that frenzy, someone approaches the counter, not with frustration, but with patience, maybe even a kind word or smile. That small choice, that moment of grace in chaos, it speaks volumes. Because true decency shows when no one's watching and when there's nothing in it for you. We just discussed how a person's true nature is often revealed through how they treat those who can't offer them any benefit. Now let's take an even closer look at the seemingly small moments in everyday life, moments that quietly expose what truly lies within. Picture this: a busy morning at a crowded cafe. The barista, rushing to serve customers, hands the wrong drink to a guest. In that moment, the customer has two choices. They could lash out, scolding the barista and demanding an immediate fix. After all, they're in a hurry and expect proper service, right? Or they could choose a different path, calmly point out the mistake with empathy and understanding. No drama, just a simple correction delivered with patience and respect. While the first reaction might seem justified in today's fast-paced world, the second reveals something far more powerful: a quiet strength, a deep sense of humanity, and self-control in the midst of chaos. Now widen the lens. Think about how someone treats the delivery driver, the janitor, or the elderly neighbor struggling to cross the street. These moments are often invisible, yet they are the truest tests of character. A person who pauses to thank a receptionist, who offers a warm smile to a waiter, or holds the door without expecting acknowledgement. These small actions reflect a heart attuned to empathy and care for others. In contrast, someone who is dismissive, impatient, or even condescending toward those in service roles often reveals something else entirely: inner insecurity. Her need to assert superiority to cover up their own feelings of inadequacy. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The fruit of this life is good character and acts for the common good." The Stoics believed our actions are mirrors of our inner state. How we treat people, especially those who cannot repay us, reflects the depth of our virtue. Kindness is not a performance reserved for the powerful or influential. It's a habit, cultivated choice by choice. A kind word, a moment of patience, a willingness to truly listen. Each one becomes a living reflection of our values. Modern psychologists echo this belief. They argue that the way we treat people who seem unimportant is often the most authentic. When there's nothing to gain, our true character steps forward. Take, for example, a situation where a waiter brings the wrong dish. How does the guest respond? Do they react with irritation, demanding a fix, or do they stay calm, understanding that mistakes happen? The first response may reveal a fragile ego or poor emotional regulation. The second suggests emotional maturity, balance, and grace under pressure. In the rush of daily life, we often overlook these subtle signals, but they offer profound insight into someone's nature, often more than words or appearances ever could. Think back to the last time you saw someone speaking with a customer service representative. Did they speak with respect, acknowledging the effort behind the scenes, or did they belittle and berate simply to feel superior? That kind of behavior is a powerful litmus test, especially in relationships, both personal and professional. Because if someone disrespects those they see as less important, how do you think they'll treat you when conflict arises? Let's return to that cafe. Imagine two co-workers who both frequent the same coffee shop. Alex always thanks the staff, even on chaotic mornings. Even when things aren't perfect, Alex takes a moment to acknowledge the people behind the counter. In the previous section, we explored how our treatment of those who can offer us nothing in return serves as a powerful mirror of our true character. Now let's delve deeper into the small moments that may seem trivial but carry profound weight in shaping our inner growth. A simple act of kindness during a moment of inconvenience, be it an apology or a compassionate glance, costs us nothing. Yet it holds immense emotional value. These gestures gently remind us and others of our shared humanity. In a world that often feels transactional and calculated, such acts create ripples of empathy that reach far beyond the moment. On the other hand, arrogance or dismissiveness toward those who cannot reciprocate often stems from something deeper: internal insecurity. In psychology, this behavior is frequently linked to feelings of inadequacy or an intense need for external validation. Individuals who belittle others may do so to assert control or power, as a way to compensate for perceived personal shortcomings. This pattern is a serious red flag, whether in personal relationships or professional environments. A person who builds themselves up by tearing others down is likely lacking the emotional maturity and ethical grounding necessary for mutual respect and trust. The Stoics advised us not only to observe others, but to look inward as well. How do we treat those who can give us nothing in return? Do we show patience and respect to everyone, regardless of their social standing? Or do we reserve our best behavior for those who can offer us something? Holding a mirror to our own actions is a vital part of personal development. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This reflection invites us to examine how we respond in moments of frustration or discomfort. Do we snap at a cashier for being slow? Do we ignore the delivery worker's greeting? If so, these moments present valuable opportunities to pause and realign our actions with our values. Growth begins with awareness, and each day offers countless chances to choose kindness over impatience. By paying attention to these seemingly minor instances, both in ourselves and in others, we gain deeper insight into the nature of true character. It helps us navigate relationships with greater clarity, recognizing sincerity or the lack thereof in those around us. After all, actions often speak louder than words. Someone who consistently treats others with kindness, especially when there's nothing to gain, demonstrates a character rooted in integrity and compassion. Ultimately, kindness is not about seeking recognition or approval. It's about living in harmony with our inner values. When we treat everyone we encounter, whether a stranger, a friend, or someone in need, with empathy and respect, we contribute to a more meaningful and connected life. True character isn't measured by grand gestures, but by the quiet strength of daily choices. By observing these small yet powerful actions, both in others and in ourselves, we gain a clearer understanding of the world and perhaps of who we are meant to become. Meanwhile, Jamie often rolls their eyes, complains loudly about delays, and treats mistakes as if they were personal insults. Over time, these patterns become clear. Alex's quiet kindness and respect reveal a deep-rooted confidence and a sense of shared humanity. Jamie's behavior, on the other hand, reveals insecurity and a sense of entitlement. This principle is not about being perfect or performing grand gestures. It's not about being a saint or sacrificing your needs to please others. It's about the small, consistent choices we make, the ones that quietly build our character, saying thank you, offering a genuine smile, practicing patience. Each one is a brushstroke in the portrait of who we truly are. As we've just explored, our everyday choices, especially when no one is watching, reveal the true strength of our character. Now let's look at one of the clearest reflections of that character: the promises we make, and more importantly, the promises we keep. Every promise we keep becomes a brick in the foundation of our integrity. Each one adds weight and stability to who we are. But on the flip side, every broken commitment chips away at that foundation, leaving behind cracks that others can feel. even if they never say a word. Imagine this. A friend assures you they'll help you move into your new home over the weekend. You rearrange your entire schedule, trusting their word, but on moving day all you receive is a vague text. "Sorry, something came up." Suddenly you're left scrambling for help, frustration mounting. At that moment, it's not just about lifting boxes or missing hands. The real sting comes from realizing their word meant less than you thought. Trust, once shaken, doesn't rebuild easily. Now contrast that with another friend. They not only show up, but they come early, with extra boxes and snacks in hand, ready to help without complaint. That act, however simple, reaffirms something deeper. They value the bond between you, and they honor their word with action. This is where true integrity is tested, not when things are smooth, but when circumstances get inconvenient. Life is unpredictable. Plans go sideways, but those who follow through despite obstacles show something rare, not just dependability, but moral strength. Their actions tell us their promises are anchored in values, not convenience. Take a moment to think of a workplace example. A manager tells their team, "I'll fight for better tools so you can work more efficiently." But then they run into pushback from upper management. The easy path would be to back down, to quietly let the issue fade. Yet a leader with integrity finds another way. They persist. Maybe they negotiate, maybe they compromise, but they act. And in doing so, they prove something essential. They can be trusted. In contrast, a manager who folds at the first sign of difficulty sends a different message. "My promises were only good while it was easy." That undermines morale and erodes respect faster than any missed deadline. But here's something equally important: how we handle broken promises when they do happen. Because let's be honest, even the most disciplined among us will fail sometimes. Plans collapse, life throws curveballs. But the difference lies in how we respond. A person with emotional maturity won't hide behind excuses. They'll acknowledge the mistake, offer a sincere apology, and do what they can to make things right. That act of humility doesn't weaken trust, it preserves it. It tells others, "I respect you enough to own my shortcomings." Now imagine the opposite. Someone breaks a promise and brushes it off. They blame traffic, their calendar, or the weather. They minimize the impact and move on like nothing happened. That's not just irresponsibility, it's a red flag, a sign of disregard, not only for others, but for their own word. The Stoics remind us, we can't control everything that happens, but we can control how we respond. Owning up to a failure, even when it's hard, is an act of courage. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." And sometimes being that good person means knowing when not to promise. Many fall into the trap of saying yes too quickly, driven by a desire to please or a fear of disappointing others. But the road of over-promising and under-delivering leads to a dead end. It builds a reputation not of kindness, but of unreliability. Stoics would argue that wisdom lies in knowing your limits. There is virtue in saying no when you know you cannot commit. It's far more honorable than saying yes and failing to follow through. Finally, if you want to understand someone's character, don't just listen to their big declarations. Watch how they treat the small promises. Do they show up on time? Do they keep casual plans? Do they meet deadlines even when no one's pressuring them? These tiny behaviors are windows into the soul. A person who honors small commitments is likely to approach bigger ones with the same level of care. We just explored how keeping promises to others builds trust, brick by brick. But there's another kind of promise that's just as powerful, the ones we make to ourselves. Imagine you're part of a team working toward a tight deadline on a group project. Everyone has their share of responsibilities. If you deliver your part on time, you're not just contributing to the success of the project, you're also reinforcing your image as someone dependable and trustworthy. But what happens if you miss the deadline? Without warning, without explanation? You don't just delay the group's progress, you also sow seeds of doubt. Can we rely on this person next time? One unkept promise can fracture the trust that took weeks, maybe even months to build. While we often observe how others handle their commitments, it's equally important to turn that lens inward. How often do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Maybe you've pledged to live a healthier lifestyle, to read more, or to learn a new skill. And yet, how many of those promises quietly fade into the background? These internal commitments are just as vital as the ones we make to others. Every time you keep a personal promise, no matter how small, you're strengthening a precious trait, self-discipline. Take this example. You promise yourself to spend 30 minutes a day learning a new skill. If you follow through consistently, not only do you gain proficiency, but you build something deeper, faith in yourself. You begin to say, "Yes, I can do this." That belief is powerful. But if you repeatedly skip those learning sessions, blaming your schedule, your mood, or simply putting it off, you slowly erode that belief, not in front of others, but within yourself. The result? A quiet, creeping sense of discouragement, a growing self-perception that maybe you lack discipline. No one has to say it. You start to feel it. That internal dialogue, the one no one hears, shapes who you are more than you might realize. It paints a picture of your true character, even in the absence of an audience. In the end, keeping promises, whether to others or to yourself, comes down to one thing: alignment between words and actions. It's not about perfection, it's about honesty, intention, and consistency. The Stoics believed that integrity is among our most valuable possessions, and every promise kept, big or small, fortifies that inner foundation. In a world where words are thrown around carelessly, a kept promise becomes a powerful act of self-definition. Whether it's a simple coffee date with a friend or a life-altering vow to support someone you love, every fulfilled commitment deepens both external trust and internal alignment with your values. And if you want to understand someone, truly understand them, don't just listen to what they say. Watch how they honor their word. Do they follow through when it's inconvenient? Do they own up to mistakes and make amends? Do they treat commitments with sincerity and thoughtfulness? The answers reveal far more than words ever could. They offer a clear view, not only of who they are, but also of who you might become. Ultimately, keeping promises isn't about trying to be flawless. It's about becoming someone who is reliable, consistent, and true, both to others and to themselves. Because it's in those quiet, everyday moments, often overlooked, rarely applauded, where real character shines through. And when you live in a way that consistently honors your word, you don't just build trust with others. You build a fortress within, rooted in self-respect, discipline, and confidence that no one can take away. When you live in alignment with your promises, both to others and to yourself, you're not just building trust, you're gradually becoming the person you truly aspire to be. And at the heart of that journey lies your core values. Remember, genuine growth always begins with awareness. Only when you become aware of what shapes your thoughts, choices, and actions Can you consciously choose to grow, improve, and lead a more meaningful life? Every small step toward greater integrity is a powerful stride toward a life of deeper purpose and connection. If this video resonated with you on any level, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you experienced something similar in your own life? Was there a particular insight that stood out to you or made you pause and reflect? Feel free to share. Your story might just inspire someone else on their journey. And if you found this content valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe to Life Through Stoicism channel. That way you'll be the first to discover more videos created to inspire wisdom, nurture growth, and challenge your perspective in fresh and meaningful ways. Thank you for being part of this journey of reflection and discovery. In our next video, we'll dive into another powerful tool to help you navigate relationships more effectively and unlock your fullest potential. Until then, always remember, every act of kindness, every promise kept, and every moment of awareness brings you one step closer to the best version of yourself. See you in the next video.